Gunners, welcome to UG Gunners TV with your man Onyx on this one again. It's a Champions League night, Champions League football, 6 years down the road. Arsenal have never been in the Champions League football. The Champions League anthem is back at Emirates. I'm joined with a number of pundits with me here. Big Steve is with me, Justin is with me. We're just going to talk about the Champions League football. Arsenal hosting PSV at the Emirates. We are excited, we are ready to host PSV for the night games again. The floodlights are on and the players are ready. Most of them are going to be having a first debut for the first Champions League football again. So Big Steve, how do you feel the atmosphere? What's the atmosphere like? Night games again at Emirates Stadium, the big anthem of the world, the biggest league in the world, coming back to Emirates Stadium. What do you say and how do you think? Are we ready physically, mentally, and how do you think we're ready for the game?
We are buzzing as fans, really buzzing. Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights, back at the Emirates, night lights. I mean, everything can be said about Champions League. I think it's a dream for every football player and a dream for every fan to have that experience of that Champions League anthem. And 6 years down the road, we've been missing that. Trust me, we've been missing that. And finally, after 6 years, Wednesday, under the floodlights, it's Arsenal back to Champions League football. I think we have quite, I think a big part of our squad actually have not yet featured in Champions League. I think we have a few players who are featured in Champions League. Talk about Kai Havertz, of course he won it with Chelsea. Talk about Jorginho, he featured for Chelsea as well. So I think in our squad we don't have very many players. Of course, we have Mohamed Elneny. I think actually Zinchenko at Man City and Gabriel Jesus. Those are the few names I think who are featured in Champions League. A lot of our players I think don't have experience in Champions League. Not just experience, but actually they don't have any sort of appearance. But I think they're happy, and I think they're buzzing as well for the Tuesday and Wednesday nights. Looking at Arsenal actually, 6 years down the road, I think Arteta must have a master plan for this campaign. When I say master plan, I'm talking about how he's going to balance both the Premier League and the Champions League. Remember, he's now under immense pressure, having put up brilliant performances last season, and he missed out, of course, in the Premier League. So I think all the news actually are seeing Arsenal and Manchester City as the two favorites in the Premier League. Then you have the Champions League, of course. So I think he has to try and juggle the two fronts tactically. So for me, actually, we need a little bit of experience coming into these Champions League nights. So I think Jorginho must be featuring in these games. Jorginho, of course, if we could welcome Thomas Partey as well. Thomas Partey played for Atletico Madrid in Champions League. So we have, of course, the likes of Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus. So we shall need actually these players who are featured in the Champions League previously to put up actually some top performances. Of course, they'll have to guide the young lads in there, the Bukayos, the Martinellis, who have not had chance actually to feature in Champions League. So I think we are buzzing for Wednesday and Tuesday nights. And I think Mikel Arteta, as I've noted earlier, he must have a master plan of how to juggle in these competitions. Of course, there will be a little bit of a few changes in the Premier League and Champions League. Arsenal fans are anticipating maybe David Raya may be coming for the Champions League night. So we wait and see what Mikel Arteta has for Arsenal.
Yes, thank you, Big C, for that wonderful overview of the game. Arsenal going back to the Champions football. So Justin at the other side. So how do you see Arteta prepared again for this game? He has never coached a team for the Champions football. We had a wonderful. We were in the same group. Arsenal was in the same group with PSV during the Europa games, and we saw how the performance was. It was a 50-50. Arsenal winning at Emirates and losing at their stadium. So, do you think PSV is going to embarrass us again at Emirates for the Champions League football night again? So, tell us your overview about the game as well.
Um, I think first of all, it has been a long waiting for us for Arsenal to come back in the UEFA Champions League, and I think we are very happy that we are back. It has been nasty for 6 years without Arsenal going for Champions League. And I think tournament is a tournament. We were not good enough in the Europa League, and I think PSV, with PSV, I think they have lost a number of players. They have left PSV. We have seen Gakpo going to Liverpool. We saw Simons leaving as well, and other players as well. But we don't know their approach around this time. We shall wait and see. And for us, and I think we have had a big number of change. This time round, we saw Xhaka leaving Arsenal, Rice coming in, Havertz coming in, the likes of Tim, although he's injured, and the other players as well. I think Arteta, he knows those players better than us. He sees them in the training, and I think mentally and physically they are ready for the game and to be back in the Champions League. Like the way Big Steve have said that most of them have not had any appearance in the UEFA Champions League. They are really yearning for that, and we have some few players who have been playing tournaments. Declan Rice, I think it will not be a big thing for him. He will come, and though he's going to face new faces, different with Conference League. Yeah, Conference League. The guys there are different with these guys here, but I think with his quality and his class, I think he's ready enough to go. And the players who we have as well, they have the quality to play Champions League and as well go forward and strive for it. Yeah.
Wonderful analysis over there. So Arsenal is ready for Champions League according to our pundits here. We are ready to take over PSV at Emirates. So there's something I want us to talk about here. The Champions League this time is having absence of top players. Cristiano Ronaldo is out, Messi is out, Benzema is out, and all Neymar is out of Champions League football. So looking at the Arsenal young people here, we have Bukayo Saka, I think had some penetration into the Ballon d'Or selection this time round. Do you think the Arsenal Football Club and the team entering into this Champions League will produce giant players? We look at the excitement of Declan Rice, the excitement of these players joining. So, as we talk about that, how do you see Arsenal penetrating to this Champions League in the absence of those big mentioned players? Do you think because I saw statistic, they are giving us a percentage of teams that are possible winners of this Champions League, and Arsenal being selected in the top 4. Arsenal, we saw Man City, Manchester City, we saw Bayern and Atletico Madrid. No, Real Madrid on the other side, I beg your pardon. Yes. So, do you think we are ready for them for Champions League? And what's your prediction? Arsenal versus PSV at Emirates for the Champions League night.
I think we've seen most of the bookmakers actually have tipped Arsenal to be one of the sides actually that are going to compete really in this Champions League edition. I've seen various bookmakers actually putting Arsenal third. Others have put them as to compete alongside Manchester City second. Others have put them basically in the top five clubs actually to really compete for this year's prize. That's the Champions League. If you look at Arsenal's squad overall compared to the top sides, talk about Real Madrid, talk about Bayern Munich, talk about Manchester City, of course, Barcelona. Although most bookmakers have ignored them, I don't know why, but I think they have good players as well. So Arsenal is not doing bad squad-wise. I think we have a squad that can compete at the top level with the likes of Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Manchester City, and of course Barcelona. Of course, Barcelona have a little bit of big pedigree in Champions League, so I don't think we should ignore them. A tournament is a tournament. I think we have about, for every tournament, you have about 12 to 14 games. up to the final. So anything, maybe you can chance a little bit of a favorable side. I don't want to call them weaker teams, but maybe a side that you can match them. So Arsenal can go far in this Champions League. But of course, 6 years down the road, of course, we have doubters. Of course, people are still doubting whether Arsenal has the wisdom to stand the likes of Real Madrid. But squad-wise, Arsenal will compete, really. I think we shall come out of the group stages. I think we shall top that group. And then we are wait and see who we shall get in the last 16. If Arsenal happens to get actually into the quarterfinals, I think we shall stand a big chance actually to reach the finals. But if I'm to come back to this particular game against PSV, I think it's going to be really an exciting night for the Arsenal fans. 6 years down the road, I think the Emirates Stadium is going to be on fire. If you're to watch Emirates Stadium against Manchester United, it was on fire. But against PSV, Champions League, it's going to be really fire. I think it's going to be more fire than the one we saw against Manchester United. So I think PSV actually will have hard time against Arsenal at the Emirates. Arsenal playing at the home turf, of course, I think they will dominate the game. So I see Arsenal actually winning this 3-1 for Arsenal.
Wow. So the Arsenal team Giants are ready for the Champions League. So Justin, what's your prediction over this game? Champions League football, PSV Arsenal. Do you think Mikel Arteta will take an embarrassment? His first game as a coach for Champions League football. What's your prediction? How do you think we are ready for it?
It is bad to say that it should be a must, but I think Mikel Arteta, he wants it even more than the fans. The first win as a coach in the UEFA Champions League with these young players whom we have got. I think we don't have to undermine PSV as well. They have started the season very well. We have seen Ajax dropping their slope this time. I think we are at home. Arsenal can grab a win there, like the way Big Steve have said. I stick with 3-1.
Wow. Arsenal versus PSV at the Emirates Champions League night football. Arsenal is going to win this game by 2-0. It's going to be a good performance. Like Steve mentioned, like we have some experienced players. We've seen that Kai Havertz winning it, and most people are saying that Mikel Arteta actually bought Kai Havertz for Champions League football. And I don't know. Is it people are saying it's Champions League football. Let's wait and see, because his performance in the Premier League has not been the best. So let's see. What's your prediction, Big Steve?
It's interesting actually. I've heard about that theory of whether Mikel Arteta brought in Kai Havertz for the Champions League. I think it's a little bit far-fetched. I think people are just trying to guess here because Kai Havertz won the Chelsea actually that Champions League against Manchester City with that late goal. So basically, maybe we can talk about him having that Champions League experience. So it can Havertz, but I don't think that theory actually stands that they brought him specifically for Champions League. But it will be a good addition.
Wonderful. So, ready for Champions League? It's Arsenal versus PSV Champions League night. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, Big Steve. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, my friend. We are ready for the game. It's Champions League football back at Emirates Stadium. Thank you.